With the 8th overall pick in the 2022 NBA draft, the New Orleans Pelicans drafted a guard out of the G League Ignite, and after his first 2 seasons with the team, he was a part of the DeJounte Murray trade. The Hawks traded away DeJounte for Larry Nance, 2 first-round picks, and Dyson Daniels, which incredible trade from the Hawks, by the way. And after his very first season with the Atlanta Hawks, he was the most improved player of the year. He was a Defensive Player of the Year finalist as a third-year player. He led the NBA in steals and deflections by a wide margin. From Australia, his name, it's Mr. Dyson Daniels. Welcome to Basketball Intuition. I'm your host, Ethan Simon. Today we're going to be talking about Dyson Daniels as well as the Atlanta Hawks. If you know a lot or don't know a whole lot about Dyson Daniels, you know defensively he is incredible. Offensively, it's a work in progress right now, but we're going to get into that today. And with all the different acquisitions that the Hawks were able to bring in this offseason, I am very high on the Hawks for this next upcoming season, and Dyson Daniels is a very large part about that. Today we're going to start with his build, of course, and then his playmaking, ball handling, finishing, shooting, defense, and whatever else comes to my mind. So let's get right to it. Okay, so at the NBA Combine, he measured in at 6'7.5" with shoes. So he's somewhere around 6'7", give or take. And this is very important for later. I want you to really file this away. He has a 6'10.5" wingspan. That wingspan right there is one of the main reasons why he is able to be such a big disruptor and defensive playmaker on the defensive side. Going into his 4th season, he is 22 years old, not turning 23 until March of next year. And he is just so young. I'm pretty sure he was drafted at 19 years old. A guy that's 22 years old right now going into his 4th season already with 3 under his belt. I love that for him. I really, really do. Okay, so now over to the playmaking, and then we'll get to ball handling after the playmaking. But I want to start by saying I feel like he's a very natural passer. A lot of his passes kind of just come through the flow of the offense, and they don't feel forced at all. There are some playmakers that it almost feels kind of forced when they're making certain passes, but his playmaking feels very natural, and I like that a lot. He can, in fact, run the point guard through stretches of the game when Trae Young is out. I'm not saying that he should be the #1 ball handler on any team or anything like that, but whenever Trae is out through periods of the game, he can take that role NBA playmaker. When it comes to the passes themselves, I feel like for the most part he is fairly accurate and he has good vision as well. On top of good timing, I thought he did a great job with passes to cutters, good dump off passes, good vision in the driving kick and those kind of situations, quick pocket passes, and I really liked his passing in the pick and roll, being able to give these little feeds to the inside, these little quick tight bounce passes to the big man, but also able to swing it out on the perimeter, make the skip pass to the corner and stuff like that. If he was a better shot maker and shot creator, it would definitely help him out in the pick and roll. I will say that. Again, I thought he was very solid there. I thought he gave great bounce passes and worked with the bigs. But really, one of my favorite places where we got to see him play make and pass the ball was at the free throw line area, or really free throw line extended, anywhere in the middle of the defense. There were times whenever we would see Dyson set a screen for Trae and then stand around in the free throw line area, or also just make a cut to the free throw line area and Trae give him the ball. And in that situation, Dyson is very dangerous because all the things that I just mentioned, on top of his floater game. His floater is probably his best offensive weapon, and he's able to get to that push shot and that floater in that area. So whenever he's in that middle of the defense, like I just mentioned, he can make those bounce passes to the inside. He can throw a lob. He can kick it out to the corner. He can swing it to the weak side of the defense. And I really thought in those situations he was really good, and I liked him there. But like I was saying, if he wasn't so hesitant to pull up and shoot the ball, especially on the three-point line, and he made teams really respect the jump shot, he would be much better of a pick and roll player, and it would help him as a pick and roll scorer as well. Another part about the playmaking that I liked a lot was I thought him and Onyeka Okongwu had a really great chemistry together. There were so many times where they were in those little give and go situations, and they both are confident passers. People really sleep on Double O's passing, but those quick little give and goes were really fun, whether it was Dyson to Onyeka or if it was Onyeka to Dyson. Another thing with those two that I thought was kind of cool, obviously the person that assisted the both of them was Trae Young. He's out there making most of the passes and getting most of the assists, but behind Trae Young, Dyson had assisted Onyeka the most and Onyeka had assisted Dyson the most. I thought that was pretty cool, and it was by a pretty solid margin as well. And then let's talk about the turnovers for a minute. Dyson Daniels averaged 2 turnovers a game. He was in the 38th percentile of turnover percentage, which is 13%. I'll tell you, I went back and I watched each and every single one of his turnovers from last season, and majority of them were one of 3 things: lazy passes, inaccurate tough passes that he probably shouldn't have even been passing in the first place, or dumb stuff like just losing the ball or not paying attention and getting ripped up or something like that, losing focus. But for the most part, I feel like a lot of them were cut outable, like they weren't really needed, like it wasn't anything that he can't stop doing or cut down on with a little more time. And then whenever it came to the ball handling, I feel like whenever I looked around at what other people thought about him, it kind of seemed kind of mixed up what people thought about him as a ball handler. My opinion, let me know what yours is about him with the ball in his hands, dribbling the basketball, not just passing. It's not like he's out there losing the ball. He could dribble with his left and his right. He's got a nice little crossover. But the problem that I had, this is also kind of the same way with the finishing, is he has a very limited bag. Really, all he got in his bag is a crossover, a Euro step, a rip through, and a spin move. That's basically all he's really got whenever he's out there trying to self-create. Fundamentally, I felt like it was very solid. I wish it was a little bit tighter, a little bit faster, and stronger. I also thought his left hand could use a little bit of work. Not nothing crazy, but a little bit. But I'm much more worried about him getting a deeper bag and having more options in the arsenal whenever he's trying to get downhill particularly. But also whenever he's trying to self-create on the perimeter, that would be another area of improvement. Because really, with the defensive side and the three-point shooting in the corners, he is the perfect two guard next to Trey. But he would be even better if he was a confident shot creator and shot maker. If you're still here and enjoying the video, make sure to hit that like button. I'm still learning, but I'll hit you with a hey. Now let's talk about the finishing ability whenever he is trying to get to the basket, when he is getting to the basket. I don't have too many things to say about this because there is only but so much for me to say about this. And it's kind of the same way with the shooting that we're going to get to after. Like I mentioned earlier, the floater is easily his best offensive weapon, which I love. I love guys that use their length well, especially a guy like him that actually does have long arms, not just like a really small guard that has to get to the floater. He is a guard with good size and long arms. He is the perfect archetype for a guy that you want to shoot floaters, because the bigger he is and the longer his arms are, it's just going to be harder for you to contest it. And my favorite way that he was able to get to that floater when he was attacking closeouts. Now, if he was more of a threat to shoot the ball and a catch and shoot opportunity, it would give him more opportunities to be able to actually attack a closeout. But in those situations where teams were closing out on him, if it was a big man or a guard, I felt like he did a really great job playing off of 2 feet there and getting downhill. And I will say, we'll talk about this a little bit more later, but this was something that it kind of worried me. He likes to use his body when he's attacking the basket against smaller guys, not as much with bigger guys, I felt like. And with his size and with Trae Young in the backcourt with him, he's going to be able to get mismatches. If he can start really taking advantage of these smaller defenders when teams are trying to hide their guards on him, and he's able to really attack them and punish them, it's just going to make him that much better. Because there were times where I feel like he was almost avoiding the contact. He didn't want to create the contact. He just wanted to settle for that floater because he's so unconfident. Is that a word? Unconfident? He was so unconfident in his free throw shooting. He sucks at shooting free throws. 59% this last season. That is garbage. That is another area of improvement. I was going to talk about that later when we got to the shooting, but I might as well say it now. But yeah, I felt like it was almost kind of wishy-washy sometimes. Sometimes I felt like he wanted to get the contact when he was going against these smaller guards, but then other times where I felt like he didn't want no contact at all. So that's another place I want to see him grow, as well as actually finishing through the contact, not just creating the contact, but actually finishing through the contact. And then also whenever it came to his touch off the glass, this was another place that I really was struggling with, that I was kind of upset about. I feel like his touch on the glass was very wishy-washy. Like, I wish his touch was better. I felt like he had better touch on the floaters and stuff like that than he did actually off of the glass. And then the very last thing that I wanted to talk about with the finishing side of things, we kind of talked about this for a minute, you know, with the give and goes and stuff like that. But as an off-ball player, fundamentally, he is very good. And really just fundamentally in general, he's very good. But I thought he made some really great cuts off the ball, having good timing and positioning, just putting himself in a good situation to get the ball and get it easy too. That was something that I really liked a lot, especially when you got a playmaker like Trae Young on your team that's going to be able to find you. Okay, so that's all I have with the finishing. Now we are done with 3 of our sections. Let's get to the 4th, which is shooting. We're going to go through a lot of percentages real quick, so I'm going to just need you to lock in for a minute. But first, I want to start with the jump shot itself. The jump shot itself, it's not terrible, but it's not great either. I will say, whenever you really look at his form, there is a notable dip whenever he's going to shoot the ball, and it also makes his shot slower than it already is. That's another thing with his jump shot. You would love to see him be able to get it a little faster. Now to the percentages, and I will say, I think some of these things, especially Hawks fans, y'all will actually be pleased with this if you did not already know. His last season with New Orleans, he shot 32% on catch and shoot threes, but just this last season, he shot 37% on catch and shoot threes. That is improvement. And then whenever we talk about percentages from the corners, this was a very good thing. He shot 44% total from the corners. I always think that this is so weird and kind of funny whenever players shoot so much better from one corner than the other, and Dyson plays into that. He shot 28.6% from the left corner, but from the right corner, he shot 53%. And then whenever we talk about shooting above the break, not from the corners, it was 32%. And if we get over to the pull-up threes, of course on a small sample size, because he doesn't shoot them very often, so this isn't something that I'm not looking too deep into this. 23% on pull-up threes. The season before with New Orleans, on less attempts, of course, he shot 28%. And then whenever we talk about the mid-range area, he shot 34% on pull-up twos. The season before, he shot 39%, so it's something that's there, but he just doesn't really get there very often. I would love to see him be able to really grow that mid-range area, but he does shoot the floater in that space a lot. But if you know me, you know I love the mid-range. I love seeing guys shoot the mid-range, so I wish that he would add that to his game as well. Really just in general, anything that has to do with shot creation, I want to see him add that to his game, especially on the three-point line. If Dyson Daniels could become a shot creator on the perimeter beyond the three-point line, the Atlanta Hawks are going to be feeling so good. And now let's talk about the last thing for the shooting, something that I already mentioned. The free throw shooting. Absolutely garbage. In his very first season, he shot 65%. In his second season, he shot 64%. And then this last season, he shot 59%. Usually, you would like to see that the opposite way around. You're getting a little bit better every year. But statistically, he has gotten a little bit worse every year from the free throw line. When you look at his free throw percentage on cleaning the glass, he is in the second percentile. I want to let you know that 100 is good, 0 is bad. He is in the second percentile. Absolutely garbage. And yeah, I don't even want to talk about that anymore. Just, in total from 3, he shot 34%. That is improvement. The season before with New Orleans, he shot 31%. Of course, he's getting better looks than he was before. That's improvement, and I am 100% sure that it's something that him and his team are working on, really developing that jump shot, because they probably know just as well as we do how important it is for his game. But over here, this is basketball optimism, so we are going to choose to believe that he's going to be able to figure it out. And if he doesn't, it is what it is. If he does, then that's wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what I've been waiting to talk about. I hope that you're excited, almost excited as I am. We're going to talk about the defense. I don't even know where to start. We'll just start with these three keywords that I have up here. Disruptor and defensive playmaker. That really is just what he is. He led the NBA in steals with 3 steals a game. That is absolutely ridiculous. He led the NBA in deflections by a very wide margin. On the season total, he had 443 deflections with an average of 6.2 a game. The closest person to his 443 deflections was Keon Ellis at 272. That's almost 200 more deflections. And also, another thing that is pretty insane is since they started tracking deflections in the 2015-2016 season, the most prior to this past season was 315 deflections in a year, which was good old Rocco. I think he was with the 76ers at the time, but he absolutely blew that out of the water. Now, Ethan, how did he do that, you might ask? How was he able to do this? Got 3 or 4 different bullet points here for you. Number 1, S-tier anticipation. He has the best anticipation on the defensive side that I think out of everybody that I have ever covered on my channel. My favorite place where we got to see this, other than, him just coming out of nowhere in a passing lane and just having great timing and positioning and just grabbing the ball out of the air and just great defensive IQ, was whenever he was baiting ball handlers into thinking that he wasn't going to step in the lane and grab that ball, and just he was kind of just standing there thinking that he's just chilling. But then as soon as you pick that ball up and go to pass it, he is fully booking it to the ball and he's stealing that ball away. And when you do stuff like that to other players, it kind of just puts them, and they put their hands on their head and they're just like, dang, I can't believe I just fell for that. But he did that so often. He was always making teams put their hands on their head like, dang, we really just let him do us like this again. The very next thing, S-tier defensive technique. Fundamentally, he is a very good defender on and off the ball. And this is what I was talking about earlier for you to file this away, the fact that he is a 6'10.5" wingspan. He uses his arms when he is sliding with the defender so very well, just being able to poke the ball out. I don't even know what else to say. He's sliding his feet hard. He uses his arms and his hands, not to the point where he's out here fouling and hacking all day, but he plays very good straight up defense, and he's really annoying. I would hate to be guarded by him. He has the best hands in the entire NBA right now. This plays into back what I was just saying, him using his arms so well for steals. Again, best hands in the NBA right now. And then my last little point for the S tier stuff. S-tier ball tracking skills. When the ball is in the air, he can have his back turned to the ball and still have an idea where the ball is or where it's going. Whenever he's backpedaling with his arms in the air and stuff like that, closing out on the defender, when he knows that guy on the inside is passing it back out to the outside, and he was just getting deflections off and stuff like that, it's just crazy. Now that I'm really looking at it, I got a bunch more things, so we're going to start running through some of these. This kind of just plays into what I was talking about earlier, but I just want to really emphasize how good he is in the passing lanes and the driving lanes. As an off-ball defender and on the help side, he is just so good in those passing and driving lanes. And not only is he just good off the ball, but on the ball, he is guarding the 1A guard every single night. He is a absolute monster. He will slide with you and use his hands and his arms and just rip it out of your hands. He does not care who you are. And there are some times whenever he's guarding a really quick guard and they'll get a little blow by animation on him. But then guess what? You got to watch out, because he's coming from behind, because he wants to pack your shot from the back. All right, 2 or 3 more things. I thought he navigated screens pretty well. A lot of that is teamwork and communication. So whenever he's on the floor with better defenders, it's going to make him a better pick and roll defender. He himself, I felt like he did a really good job there. But there were times where his teammates, I felt like, weren't doing a great job. And I was going to wait to the end to say this, But whenever Dyson Daniels and Nickeil Alexander-Walker are getting minutes in the backcourt together, defensively, that is going to be absolutely ridiculous. Dyson, 6'7" with a 6'10" wingspan. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, he's like 6'5" or so, but he's got a 6'9" wingspan. Like, both ball hawks, energy, effort, like, that is going to suck to go up against as a guard. And the very last thing, this is very slept on. It's not something that I'm going to spend a lot of time on because I didn't dive too deep into it. But as a rebounder, he was really good, especially on the offensive side. He was crashing that offensive glass, using his length well and his good timing, going up and grabbing rebounds. Between March and April, he averaged almost 7 rebounds a game as a 2 guard. He's on the glass, and I love that. I love when guards are going for rebounds and they're not just standing on the perimeter. Go crash the glass. Go get a board. I love that. Now, that is, in fact, everything that I had to talk about for Dyson Daniels today. So real quick, I want to look at this depth chart for the Atlanta Hawks. When we look at the backcourt, we're looking at Trae Young, Kobe Buffkin, Luke Kennard, Keaton Wallace, Nickeil Alexander-Walker. I really love that guard rotation. You get defense, you get a little bit of scoring. Forwards is really where it gets scary and it looks really good. You get Jalen Johnson, Zachary Risachet. I'm not going to say his name. This brother right here. He be hooping. He really be hooping. Nickeil can play in that area. Dyson can play in that area. Caleb Houston is slept on. I watched Caleb Houston with my own eyes hit like 7 threes and drop 25 against the Hawks, now that I say that. Not last season, but the season before that. And then we look at these big men, and this is where it got so much better. Kristaps Porzingis is here. Onyeka Okongwu, I love. Mo Gay. And I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there anyways. I went ahead the other day, not like the other day as in like yesterday or the day before, maybe like a week ago. I threw a solid amount of money on the Hawks to win 50 plus games. And I'm very confident that I'm going to hit that. I ain't going to lie. So let me know what y'all think about the Atlanta Hawks. What do you think about Dyson Daniels' progression, what he needs to do offensively? Just let me know your thoughts. All right. Also, not just let me know your thoughts on the basketball stuff. Let's put the basketball aside for the rest of the episode now. Let me know how your day was. Let me know how your week was. Did you do anything that you actually enjoy this week? Or did you just go to school all week? Did you just work all week? And this will lead us to the comment of the day. The best segment of the day. My favorite segment of the day. Should be your favorite segment of the day. It's comment of the day. Basically, it's just my favorite comment from the previous video or any video at all. I don't care. I just pick a comment and it's the comment of the day. We're going to do these 2 comments of the day today. Dribble Billy keeps getting comments of the day, but I mean, he's here for it. He asked me like 2 weeks ago for a Dyson Daniels video. So here it is. I think I literally already made this comment of the day to see if anybody was interested in it, and nobody said anything, but I'm doing it anyways. But again, I said this first time, if you want to watch my Trey Johnson video, you should go watch that. And then the other one is going to be from 187. You deserve to be a much bigger channel. Keep up the hard work, amazing quality. Going to be really enjoyable for you with the likes of Mobley, the Thompson Twins, Wemby, Dyson Daniels, and soon Cooper Flag in the league for the future. Context, this video was the Tumani Kamara video I made like 3 or 4 months ago when I was really starting to do these player breakdowns and analysis. So yeah, shout out to y'all, man. And as always, for any of you, if there's any video you want to see me make, I take all suggestions. I can't promise you that I'm going to do the video. I can't promise you it's going to be my next video, but I will absolutely take it into consideration because I need all the suggestions I can get, because we got another month or so before the season comes back, and I don't got but so much to talk about. So yeah, man, sorry I've been slacking a little bit on the uploads, taking an extra day or two. I'm trying to get back to myself a little bit, get my relationship right with the Lord, trying to make sure that my soul is refreshed for this upcoming season, that I can put all this work in and all the extra time in for y'all so I can really give y'all some great content, especially, you know, I am right now, but like also whenever the season starts, I want to really push it back up again. And then also 2K drops tomorrow. Well, it already dropped, but for me it drops tomorrow, and then we're gonna be dropping 2K content. I might post one tomorrow. I'm not really sure. I might wake up and just play all day tomorrow and film a bunch of videos. But those are going to be on the second channel. Link is in description. Ethan Intuition. That is not just a 2K channel. That's going to be all my passion projects, everything that is not just me sitting here talking about basketball. I might be trying to learn how to play the guitar. I might be playing real basketball. I might be fishing. We might just be playing a video game. We might be talking about the word. You know, I don't know what we're going to be doing, but that's just all my passion projects over there. So if you're interested, make sure to go sub to that. I love each and every single one of you. Jesus loves each and every single one of you as well. Don't ever forget that. And yeah, man, I appreciate your support very much. It means the world to me, and I will see y'all very soon. Peace out.